when I'm enjoying a movie, I don't take many notes.
Surprised you have so few. You also were talking a lot.
Let me compare to Matilda. Yeah, a lot of the things I just didn't write down because I was yelling them at the fucking TV.
Mm-hmm. You were not having a good time. I was having a blast listening to you.
And then you had to go down and fucking read the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, that must have sucked.
It's not great. It's not my favorite.
You know, normally we do a nice cold open that has nothing to do with the episode. But I think we just buried the lead a little bit on this brand new episode of Soon to Be a Major Motion podcast. The podcast where we watch movies that were based on books and read books that were turned into movies. I am half of the podcast, Billy Beck.
I am the other half of the podcast, Cody Beck.
And, you want to just get right into it? Fuck our weeks?
Yeah, I think this one is going to be a long one just because we're both going to be bitching the whole time.
It's going to be pretty short because we're just going to be like, this fucking sucked and I hated it and it should burn.
Rick and Morty is a bad show, but it's just that one cold open of them coming back in the spaceship and they're just like,
So just in case somebody is hearing this and has not read the title, Cody, what are we talking about on this episode?
We are talking about Eragon, book 1 of the Inheritance trilogy, quartet.
Cycle. It's the Inheritance cycle.
Yeah, it was supposed to be the Inheritance trilogy till he couldn't figure out what a fucking editor was.
In his words, the third one was too complicated for one novel. Bro, that's a you problem, not an us problem.
He made it all of our problems. Did you know there's 5 now?
Ew.
He wrote a whole one from Murtaugh's perspective.
I am eternally grateful that this movie fucking bombed and I don't have to watch a sequel.
So I have some theories about why that happened, and I am going to talk about Game of Thrones.
Why it bombed?
No, not why it bombed, but why they never intended for it to get a sequel.
They did. No,
I don't understand how, because what I remember of the movie, they fucking killed major plot points.
First, we're really putting the cart ahead of the horse here.
We really are.
We're rolling down this hill unhorsed, and the horse is chasing us with fire in his eyes.
It's just, to reference a much better movie, this book is Buttercup, and we had just pushed us as Wesley over the hill into the swamp.
To reference a better movie, I'd like to join the Turtle Club. Turtle. That's how I felt about this movie.
You were very unhappy.
So let's get the unhappiness started. Is this a record for us 3.5 minutes in and we're gonna listen to a trailer?
Probably. Oh God, don't make me watch the trailer.
You're gonna have to. I had to watch the whole fucking movie. You can get your ass over here and watch a trailer, Cody.
I don't wanna.
Let's watch the trailer.
The time of dragons and dragon riders will come again. You're the next rider.
Bring the boy to me.
You're the only one who can save us.
Gather my army. Leave no one alive.
They will follow you.
One false move, and everything is lost.
I'm the rider, and I say we go. We fight as one!
A farm boy living with relatives who aren't his parents lives under government oppression. One day, through either luck or magic, he receives a mysterious cylindrical object that comes with a message from a distant princess. The hero returns to his farm to find his family dead, so he leaves with an elder mentor to meet up with resistance forces. He learns from the mentor that they are both of a chosen kind with magical abilities. But as they rescue the captured princess, the mentor is killed by a powerful magic man who is acting under the orders of a more powerful political leader. The farm boy then teams up with the princess and a lovable rogue to get to the resistance forces, where they team up to fend off the right-hand man of the Emperor. Star Wars: A New Hope.
Yeah. I understand that Star Wars is just the hero's journey, but Jesus Christ.
So that is like the one thematic, pseudo-intelligent thing I want to actually talk about tonight, before we just get into ripping into this dog shit. Have we reached a point where the hero's journey as a film structure is no longer entertaining? Like, where are we culturally with the hero's journey?
It's become the villain's journey now. So we're at the point culturally where we are still doing the hero's journey, but we're just doing it with characters that have traditionally been coded as villains. That's why you're starting to see all of these. It's something that you see in literature as well. Like, there's been a massive revival in the last, 20 years of retelling stories from the traditional villain's point of view. Like, you see it a lot with Peter Pan and Captain Hook. Like, that's the one there's probably 15 versions where the story is told from Hook's point of view now. Some of them better than others. But, Cruella, Maleficent. I'm trying to think of some other options.
Joker. Harley Quinn, or what was that called? Birds of Prey, or the Emancipation of Harley Quinn?
Yes. Yeah, so that's where we're at. We're still telling the same story. We're just using different characters to do it.
So I guess where I'm at is, the structure of it. And I guess that's part of the reaction to stuff like Eragon, is it becomes so formulaic to the point where the accusations of plagiarism have haunted Christopher Paolini's career since the publishing of the first book. And part of that, I mean, obviously, dude fucking probably watched Star Wars all the time, and he probably read Lord of the Rings all the time, and he may not realize that that's what he did, but he combined the two.
It's the Dane Cook and Louis
C.K. kind of hitting the same...
Yeah.
Hitting the same beats. It's like when Deep Impact and Armageddon came out in the same year. For whatever reason, Asteroids was in the cultural zeitgeist. So in this kid's mind, while he was writing, it was Lord of the Rings was coming out, because I think this was 2002?
Yes, he would have been writing it in 2002.
So Lord of the Rings was coming out. I mean, Star Wars just, the second trilogy came out a few years prior. The originals, the special editions came out. So I remember seeing Star Wars in theaters. Not in 77, I'm not that old, but in 97 I did.
Yeah, same.
I've seen everyone in theaters except for Solo, I think.
Yeah, I haven't seen the original trilogy in theaters.
But I digress. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that kind of formulated how he structured the story, and also to an extent how the filmmaker structured the film. Because, I mean, you're working with the source material you're working with. But where I'm thinking is just purely on a cinematic level, there's so much more you can do with movie making than a hero's journey. And everything is the hero's journey now. And superhero movies don't help, considering that's been, the primary, mythos that film has drawn from for the last 20 years. But even old westerns, a lot of that is still the same reluctant man takes up the mantle, does the quest, the whole hero's... I don't actually know what the fucking hero's journey is, definition wise, but I know it when I see it.
So not to spoil a future episode of the pod, but there's a fascinating, I almost want to call it an article because it feels like a dissertation, but it's a Tumblr post about how Divergent single-handedly popped the YA dystopian bubble that was built by Hunger Games and other young adult things at the time. And basically, it's because Divergent was written in such a way that it was for maximum marketability, and I'm talking about both book and movie. And it stripped down the dystopian thing to such bare bones that everyone realized how much of a cash grab and how obvious some of the skeletal framework was. And they were just like, yeah, no, I'm good. And that's why they didn't even end up making the fucking second half of the fourth book.
Because the TV show it became got canceled?
Yeah, because they changed the fucking actress, because even she was like, nah, this sucks. But I feel like that's kind of the problem with Eragon. It is simultaneously too complicated and too basic, and there are people that can walk that line. Like, overall, Hunger Games is not a super complicated plot, and I'm gonna keep comparing the two because Hunger Games is so good.
Yeah.
But also, you have to remember, Suzanne Collins has decades of experience as a writer. And again, most of the individual...
Christopher Paolini didn't even have decades of experience as a person.
Yes!
He was, 12 to 15 when he was writing this thing?
Yes. The mythology is that he wrote it in a year when his final year of high school, which would have been 14 to 15, he was homeschooled.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. That explains a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
He was homeschooled. He graduated at 15, and he spent, after finishing the draft, he spent a year polishing it, and they shopped it around to studios. Not studios, to publishers. Nobody wanted it, so they self-published it, and he happened to stumble across his eventual publisher, which I think is Knopf. Yeah, he stumbled across someone... one of his heroes, I don't remember who, I didn't care. It's probably someone important who...
I don't care.
who got him an in with Knopf, and they republished it. So the edition of the book that I'm holding was actually released in 2008 because it was on the eve, there's a special little thing on the eve of the third book coming out. But he wrote this, I believe it was finished by 2002, it was published by Knopf in 2003. So there's technically 2 editions of this first novel.
I hate how, like... I saw this movie in high school, and this dude's like 3 years older than me.
Yeah.
That's gross. That makes me feel ill.
He also lives in the Pacific Northwest, or he lives in Los Angeles, in which case it's on site, motherfucker.
Like, you'd recognize his dumbass.
So yeah, you can tell that this was written by a 15-year-old. And I don't mean that in the sense that it's poorly written, because it's not. But it is written like someone who has a couple of favorite books, probably Lord of the Rings, probably Brandon Sanderson. Again, not bad writers. I'm gonna put an asterisk next to that for Tolkien, but not bad writers.
Jeez. You're gonna get stabbed.
But it's written like someone who has their favorites and they're emulating their favorites, which is what you're told to do.
Yeah.
But he didn't have enough people around him to tell him, hey, this isn't unique. And it's not that it has to be completely brand new and everything is great. But I've read enough fan fiction that I know this was written by someone who didn't have lived experience. Because it would be like writing the same story as someone who does write. This feels to me like the stories that I wrote for creative writing when I was 15, 16. And then, I had some more experience and I started writing a little bit differently and vice versa. And you can even see that to an extent through the series, the cycle as it goes, because he does kind of come into his own as he, becomes an adult. But not to bring up the books who shall not be named. Remember how everyone thought that epilogue was fucking garbage?
Yeah, everyone, myself included, thought that epilogue was fucking garbage. I was just happy that the war was over.
So, it's because that epilogue was written before the rest of the series was written. And through writing that series, her voice changed. Mm-hmm. And so we could all tell...
The character development changed. Like, the characters became things they weren't when she wrote that epilogue.
Yes.
And it's kind of, yeah.
And that's the danger, too, which something that I will give him credit for is all of the things that eventually happen in this series are foreshadowed. And that it is done subtly enough that you're not going to get it unless you've read the books before. But you're also kind of writing yourself into a corner with that. It's one of those things where there's a difference between George R.R. Martin writing something that we're pretty sure already happened and telling the rest of the story around that with the idea of the prophecy hanging overhead the whole time. That's someone who is at the height of their creative abilities doing something that they know they can do because they're having fun and flexing their creative muscles. And a child, a literal child, I remind you, this is written by a 14 to 15-year-old boy talking about...
In the late 90s, early aughts, no less.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the weirdness about women in a minute.
Oh boy.
There's a difference between a writer at the height of their creative powers stretching themselves to write something that's out of their comfort zone or to write something with an end goal, and a literal child writing the first thing that they have ever written of this length, you know?
Yeah. Like, when I was that age, sure, I was writing shitty poetry and whatnot, but it was on pieces of paper that I hid in my Animorphs books, and not, published and became a bestseller and a major motion picture.
So it's funny that you bring up Animorphs, because I am 100% positive that he also read Animorphs.
Oh yeah, he was a teenage boy in the late 90s, early aughts.
Cassie is just Nasuwata, and Nasuwata is just Cassie, right?
Who's Nasuwata?
She is the princess, not the elf, black girl. I think in the movie she literally only shows up to talk to Saphira.
I got nothing, dude. I don't even remember that happening. So I watched this about 48 hours ago, and yesterday morning I forgot that I watched it. I was like, what did I do last night? How high did I get? Oh, no, I just watched Eragon.
Smooth brain.
Just fucking vapored the whole evening. No, I don't think that character was in the movie.
Almost positive she was.
No.
Because I remember being excited she was, to see her.
Oh, maybe then like one shot.
Yeah, she's not.
She did not leave an impression. She did not make my cast list.
She's also not a big role in the first book, but she becomes more important as time goes on. So, women. We're going to talk about women in these books.
Okay.
There are 5 named women that I can think of that are important. There's a lot of 6. I forgot about the queen in the next book. You've got Saphira, obviously, and yes, I am counting her.
Yeah, because otherwise it's just going to be real sad when I get to how many women are in the movie.
There's Arya, the elf.
Yep.
With weird Native American
oh yeah, what the fuck was up with that at the end of the movie? Where she's like, I've got feathers in my hair now. Like,
I mean, she has feathers through her hair throughout, but they're like metal and shit.
Yeah, it's when she's in Native American garb at the end.
Yeah, that's...
I have Tango Preguntas.
That felt like a choice.
And not
trademark.
A good one.
You've got Angela the herbalist, who is barely in the movie and completely different in the book.
She's an herbalist in the book?
So she's a witch and a fortune teller. She does tell Eragon's fortune.
Because those are the 3 female characters in the movie. We've already hit them.
So fun fact. You know how I always yell about how Doctor Who is in this?
No.
So Doctor Who is a character in this series. It's Angela.
Angela is a doctor?
Angela is either a doctor or River Song. I'm not 100% certain which, because I don't watch Doctor Who, because I had sex in college.
I would say a doctor, because I feel like River Song was later.
The stuff that happens with her... Yeah, you're probably right. She definitely has a
River Song didn't enter the series until, 2008.
Okay. She definitely has a sonic screwdriver later. That is not a joke. She has a sonic screwdriver that is hidden as a knife.
What a fucking dweeb.
It also makes me mad because Angela the herbalist is a cool fucking character. And it makes me furious that she is basically just a doctor insert. There's the child whose name I forget. Is it even in the movie, the child that they bless?
The what?
There's a child that they bless that's a major plot point later.
No.
Cool. That's fine. She only shows up as a named character in the second book anyway, but I'm going through the whole series here. You've got Nasuwata, who is, the princess and eventual leader of the rebellion, which, oh boy, that sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Princess, leader of a rebellion. No, but I thought Arya was the Leia insert.
No.
Bear in mind, the character you're describing, not in the movie.
Yeah. She's kind of both. All right, so we got Nasuada and Selena, Eragon's mother. And Katrina, Katrina...
The hurricane that saved us from this mess.
Katrina, again, becomes much more important. She's Roran's fiancée. She's the butcher's daughter. And she, I don't think, is in the movie at all.
No.
Yeah.
I don't even know who Roran is.
The cousin.
He had a name? Mm-hmm. It took me a good, 5 minutes into their one scene together for me to realize they were two different people.
To be fair, he's very much not in the book either. He disappears after, the first 5 chapters. There are entire parts of the second book that are from his point of view. They're the best fucking part of the second book.
Oh, what I was saying is, they cast an actor who looked exactly like Eragon. And I was just confused.
Every interesting thing about this series is done in the later books. And it's when he starts writing about characters that aren't the fucking chosen one. So, remind me more Star Wars parallels later that I want to get into. But yeah, so those are all the women. The ones he thinks about most are Arya and Saphira. And Saphira's mostly because, she's there all the time.
Yeah.
Arya doesn't show up as a character who speaks until after the 300th page of the book. This book is 496 pages long. She is awake and coherent for less than 100 of them.
So we have the opposite of the Roald Dahl problem, where this movie was I almost said a cool 100 minutes. It was not cool. It was a long 100 minutes. It dragged. But, I mean, I don't know what author you're describing, because I've seen industry professionals say that they were blown away by the author's precociousness, his mastery of plot lines and characters, and his ability to create several completely imaginary worlds.
Yeah, that's the problem, is that he did the Tolkien world building and then made sure he shoved every possible second of it at the reader.
So for the record, the person who said that about Paolini was Peter Buckman, the screenwriter.
Oh, God.
If you want to know the kind of people who made this movie, do you want to know the kind of people who made this movie? So I've mentioned the screenwriter, Peter Buckman. His other credit that is somewhat recognizable is Jurassic Park 3, which you may remember as being pretty much just a ripoff of Jurassic Park 1. You could even call it a fanfic of Jurassic Park 1. Surely, his words were handled by, a master of the craft.
Oh, no.
Someone with about as much experience directing as Christopher Paolini had writing, right? Directed by Stephen Fangmeyer. Do you know why you don't recognize his name? I looked up his other directing credits.
Are there any?
No. He was the second unit director on Galaxy Quest.
Sure.
He did visual effects for Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Oh.
That movie has great visual effects. Maybe he should have done visual effects for this movie instead of directing it. That would have been a better use of his time. Better use of that salary, because the visual effects in this movie don't hold up very well.
They're so bad.
Let's composite in a cheap CGI dragon over this sped-up helicopter footage flying through a woodland area. Ew. It doesn't look good. It is aged poorly.
The only actor that I know from this is the guy that played Murtaugh, and that's because I think he was married to 2 really prominent voice actors. And he's also a decent voice actor in his own right, but Garrett Hedlund is the only name I vaguely recognize.
Yep, Murtaugh is Garrett Hedlund. He was in Troy.
Yes.
He was in Friday Night Lights. This was all before this film. And since he was in Inside Llewyn Davis. Mm-hmm. Eragon, our lead, was played by Ed Spaliers. He was also in Alice Through the Looking Glass. And he is in Star Trek Picard as Jack Crusher.
Oh my god.
Picard's secret baby.
Yes! Secret baby!
Brom, he's the Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he was played by Jeremy Irons. Oscar winner for Reversal of Fortune. And his Reversal of Fortune was showing up in this trash. He was also in Die Hard with a Vengeance and The Lion King. Arya was played by Sienna Guillory. Friend of the pod, She played Emma in the 2002 The Time Machine. And
God.
And she has a role in future episode of the pod, Inkheart.
Were you horny for her in Time Machine?
Probably. She's hot. What do you want from me? I am but a simple man. There's the Shade, the Darth Vader stand-in.
Rumpelstiltskin himself.
Robert Carlyle. He was also in Train Spotting, The World Is Not Enough, and as you've brought up, Rumpelstiltskin in Once Upon a Time.
Hell yeah.
Ajihad, who was the resistance leader. Who would that make him in the Star Wars? That lady? What's that lady's name?
Which one? The cool one or
like the one when they're planning the run on the Death Star, like she's like in charge over there?
Mon Mothma?
Yeah, her.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, Star Wars nerds are going to come at me for that. Ajihad, anyway. That character was played by Chimon Hansu. You know, from Amistad.
Wasted.
Blood Diamond. Absolutely wasted. Every scene he was in, he was absolutely wasted. I would have to be to get through this movie. Speaking of, this fucking name. Galbatorix.
Yep.
The Palpatine of this universe. Played by none other than friend of the pod, John Malkovich.
John Malkovich.
From Perks of Being a Wallflower and Being John Malkovich. Because of course he's in that. And by association, Adaptation. His first line of this film, by the way. He is in the opening scene. And his first line is, "Do not prolong my suffering." And I'm pretty sure he was saying that to the director and the camera was rolling and the editor put it in. Because the best line read of the fucking film. Also, he made no attempt at any sort of accent. None of the big names did.
Yeah, no, I would rather that.
And finally, Saphira, our dragon herself, our R2-D2 and 3PO all in one.
Hey.
Was Rachel Weisz.
Yeah, Rachel Weisz.
Academy Award winner for The Constant Gardener. And we know her and we love her from her role in The Mummy. Every bisexual's awakening. 1999's The Mummy.
I'm sorry, I'm looking for the description of, I'm looking for the description that he gives her, because it's really creepy. Yeah, I'm not gonna find it. But every description that he gives of Arya is just about how hot she is, which, like, I guess they, cast Sienna Geary for that reason. Guillory? I don't know how it's pronounced.
I pronounced it Guillory, but I think it is Geary or something like that. I read the pronunciation thing, but I didn't play a sound when I read it, and then I forgot.
Oh, you want to talk about pronunciation?
Ooh, please, give me some weird words and how they're supposed to be pronounced.
Oh, don't worry. Did
I pronounce Galbatorix right?
You did, actually. I'm gonna, at the end of the book, on page 499, there's a pronunciation guide for all of the words.
So you can talk about it with your friends at school.
And then, further, there's a glossary of all the ancient language. No pronunciation guide, though, but all the ancient language words that he learned.
So if you want to pretend to know magic too, you can try to, like, make a stick stab a guy.
Oh, is that what he does?
No. Not really. He uses a stick to beat off a guy. Phrasing.
Funny you should bring that up. Part of the reason I read this book the first time was because a friend of mine was going through and marking all of the passages that were oddly suggestive.
Fantastic.
I'm so tired.
I know.
This book is so bad.
It's really not good. Do you want to hear about some people who may have dodged bullets by not being in this?
Absolutely.
So, Spoilers, Eragon won the role while he was trying to learn his lines for a school production of Hamlet, which I think is very funny. Others considered for the role of Eragon, Elijah Wood.
Okay.
A little fucking on the nose.
A smidge, just a hint.
Shia LaBeouf.
Weird, okay.
And the closest contender that didn't get it, Alex Pettyfer, who is in almost certainly future episode of the pod Beastly as the Beast.
Yeah.
He turned it down because they shot in Central Europe and he's afraid of flying.
I mean, it's not like it was 2025, so he didn't have to worry about the plane falling out of the sky.
Well, he probably feels right about his fear of flying now. Others for the role of Brom, Ian McKellen.
Oh my god, you can't... Are you trying to hide the fact that it's Lord of the Rings or not?
And Patrick Stewart. Imagine Ian McKellen and Elijah Wood in those roles at the same fucking time.
Oh, God.
Durza the Shade was almost played by Guy Pearce.
I know the name and I can't immediately bring a face to it.
Let me see what you would know him from.
I'm just thinking about Ethan Hawke.
I mean, I'm usually thinking about Ethan Hawke, but oh my god, he was in The Time Machine. Prometheus and Alien Covenant. He was Wayland. I'm pretty sure he kissed himself.
No,
that was the other guy.
Yeah.
He was in The Hurt Locker. What would you know him from? Shit. We're gonna figure that. He was the main dude in Memento.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There we go. One I know you've watched because I've made you watch it.
You haven't made me watch it. I watched it for script writing in college.
Then I did my job poorly. And the biggest bullet dodged was Arya. Emily Blunt was turned down for Arya. But during the casting process, a casting director saw her and said, "You'll be great for my next picture, The Devil Wears Prada."
Oh, yeah, she dodged a bullet there.
What a bullet dodged.
I mean, she wasn't the main in Devil Wears Prada, but still, pretty good.
Yeah, in a much better picture than this.
Also pod eligible. Funsies.
It is. You're right. So we may talk about her in the future.
Yeah.
Because the future's kind of up in the air right now. Whee! We've got like 2 episodes planned out. We'll figure it out.
Yes.
I forgot I made that note. I wrote down the phrase inspired by mediocrity. And I'm not sure why. Oh, I explained it. It's very clear he based this story off Star Wars with hints of Lord of the Rings. Whereas Star Wars was heavily inspired by the films of Akira Kurosawa and 1920s serials. And it's the creative output equivalent of, for our older audience, Xeroxing the same Xerox multiple times. For our younger audience, when you right-click Save As and compress a meme so many times it gets digitally, like, gross. It's the creative output version of that. And it's just mediocrity. So much mediocrity. It, outside of the structure of the film itself, it was the decision to add feathers to Saphira was inspired by X-Men 3, The Last Stand, you know, the mediocre one. It was the last major film to be released on VHS.
Oh, God.
And it's currently on Disney Plus, if you need help going to sleep tonight. And only in standard HD, because I don't think it ever got released on like a 4K. I don't think they ever took the time or effort to do it. It probably only got a Blu-ray release, because Blu-ray came out like that fucking year. But Christopher Paolini liked it.
Of course he did.
He really enjoyed the performances of Jeremy Irons, who I think he's still digging the scenery out of his teeth. And Ed Spaliers, who I already can't remember if he did anything else. Oh yeah, Jack Crusher. Yeah. Just a celebration of meh is this whole film.
So, you know how you feel when Brennan Lee Mulligan is gearing up to do a monologue? Imagine that your most boring friend is telling you the Brennan Lee Mulligan monologue, but adding what they think is descriptive flair to it. And it goes on for 500 pages, and they don't have an editor telling them what they need to cut or how to pace things better. And you get close to how soul-crushingly boring reading this book is. It is close to Woody Allen levels of let me put my thoughts into you.
Please, without the incest and pedophilia, please. Well, it wouldn't be pedophilia for him, because he's 16 years old.
He has very specific ideas about heroes and villains, and you are gonna learn them in excruciating detail multiple times. Also, your protagonist. The one thing I will give him is that this protagonist is written very accurately as a 15-year-old boy, because he is a 15-year-old boy writing it.
Write what you know, they say.
Because he's dumb as a fucking brick.
He's such a fucking idiot. One of my...
Oh, the old man in my town knows a whole lot about dragons and the inner workings of the Empire and also the fucking secret politics and a lot about, like, all this shit that no one is supposed to know about, and he knows a whole lot about magic. Oh boy, I'm sure he's just a storyteller. Jesus Christ!
Yeah, there's that beat in the movie where he's like, you're a dragon rider, and Seraphim, what's her fucking name? Saphira?
Yes.
Saphira is like, oh my god, I didn't see it coming. And I'm like, how? He's like, you watched him do magic, so you paid enough attention to repeat said magic. He knows everything about riding dragons. He knows the history. I thought you knew that. How did I immediately know that? And you, known this man for years and didn't? What the fuck?
So, I will say...
Although, you're saying this guy's fucking dumb? The guy who made dragons extinct is still in charge. And when the dragon hatches in front of him, he's like, you're not a bird. Like, you know that's a fucking dragon, you dipshit. You live in the dragon place right after dragons ended. Like, you're still dealing with the economic collapse of the loss of dragons in your society. You've spent your whole life hearing old people talk about when there were dragons. You know that's a fucking dragon, you dipshit. But no, you gotta go back to Tashi Station to buy your fucking power converters.
To be fair, he does recognize Saphira as a dragon immediately. He just doesn't know what having never seen a dragon egg, he doesn't know that it's an egg until it hatches. But he recognizes she's a dragon immediately. Also, Brahm straight up fucking tells Saphira that he is a dragon rider and not to tell Eragon. They have secret conversations without him all the time, and it's fucking
Wait,
hysterical.
she can read his thoughts too?
Yes. It's, the way Brahm describes it is, it's considered bad manners to talk to another person's dragon, and Eragon's like, but you did it to Saphira, and he's like, yeah, I had to do it, shut up.
They cut so much from this book to make it not, like, 100 minutes or so. So much.
I wish they could have cut some from the fucking book.
Right? And yet, they could have cut more. So, halfway through watching this, I had to find out what came out first, the Book of Eragon or the Book of How to Train Your Dragon. It was Eragon by like a year or two, and the film by I think 4 years. How to Train, I feel like the team at DreamWorks behind How to Train Your Dragon watched this movie and went, we can do better, and they fucking did. What's the scene from How to Train Your Dragon?
The flying scene.
The flying scene. The scene where he learns to fly. And what's amazing about that scene?
Everything? The score and the visuals.
The score, the visuals.
The animation.
The animation. Know what you didn't say? Dialogue. Because there is none. That scene, and if you haven't seen How to Train Your Dragon, just type in How to Train Your Dragon 2010 flying scene. Make sure you put 2010, because if you're listening to this later this year, there's a new one, and it's going to be the same scene, but slightly worse. I've seen the trailer. That's what they're doing. Look up this scene. It's this sweeping orchestral score. There's a bit of dialogue at the bookends of it.
Yeah.
But so much of it is told through facial expressions and body movement and camera movements, and then when they sync up, you get some really elegant shots. There's a similar scene in Eragon, where he learns to fly.
Is this the first time, or are you talking about when he actually learns how to ride?
When he learns to fly, not when she carries him away from the farm.
Okay.
And, like, he gets on the saddle, and he's hanging on, and they're doing all the same flying shit. And the whole fucking time, these two bumblefucks are just quipping. Just, hold on. Wow, this is speed. You think that's speed? Here comes Mongo. Like, it's just back and forth, just fucking the whole time. You take Oscar winner Rachel Weisz, and all she does is fucking quip. Do you remember a few weeks ago we were watching the riff tracks of Samurai Cop?
Yes.
And how every scene of that movie with his cohort, Samurai Cop would say something flirty to a woman, and it would cut to like a weird close-up of this man just making reaction faces. Yes. That's Saphira in the movie. Something would happen, and it would just cut to a CG dragon, and you'd hear ghostly voice going, "Didn't see that one coming." Like, it's Oscar winner Rachel Weisz. That's when last night I was watching it and yelling, "Oh my god, please shut up. Just shut the fuck up." I just wanted to enjoy probably the most money they put into a scene was that flying scene. Because it's the only time the animation looked half decent. And it was just unwatchable.
So, do you want to know the reason why I think they knew they weren't getting a sequel? And some of the weird changes that they made?
Okay, so before you go into your theory, I will hit you with some fact.
Yes.
They did plan to do... What's the second one? Eraser? What's the second one called?
The second one is called Eldest.
Excuse me. Eldest and Brissinger. They intended to shoot them back to back in like 2007, 2008 with the same director. And this movie just bombed so hard they went, nah. not worth the time and effort. So, what's your theory as to why?
So, I understand that you're limited in what you can film. Unless you're doing a TV show and you're planning to be faithful to the period, to the punctuation of the novel, you're gonna have to cut some stuff.
Yeah.
And I understand, like, you have different things that you're gonna sacrifice for that. One of the most major plot threads is Sloane the Butcher and Katrina and Roran and Eragon. That is one of the major plot threads that goes through the rest of the books. If I remember correctly, Sloane just gets murdered immediately in this movie, correct?
I have no idea. Who's Sloane?
He's the butcher. He's the one that tells the bad guys where Eragon is.
Was he the one who looked like Will Sasso?
Yes.
I don't remember.
If I recall correctly, I think he tells them where he is and he just gets his throat slit and he dies. He is a very important part of the next two books.
I worry about you sometimes. You remember things from this movie. That can't be a good life to lead. Just wash it out. The weeds in the drawer, just fucking...
So, some other major plot threads. I assume that you figured that Brahm was Eragon's father, right?
No, because Obi-Wan isn't Luke's father, Cody. If anything, Durza's his father.
So...
Although I kind of had my money on Galbatorix.
So, the second book, the revelation is that Selena, Eragon's mom, was also Murtagh's mom. And they are both Morzan's sons.
Who's Mortog?
The Han Solo.
I don't think he's named in the movie. I mean, obviously he is, because I had his name on the cast list. I don't think they ever fucking say it.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm the son of the traitor, whose name I think they also only name once.
Yeah. So... He's actually Darth Vader, but he's already dead. Like, in the structure, he is the person who supported Galbatorix and got murdered.
Right.
So, the reveal is that, Murtagh, the second dragon hatches for Murtagh, and he becomes a dragon rider in the second book, and it's revealed that he and Eragon are actually siblings, and they have the same mother, and therefore Eragon thinks it's the same father, except, wait! He goes to the elves, and he finds out, actually, Brahm and Selena were having an affair.
I was about to ask, did Brahm kill dude because his wife was cheating on him with him, or... But no, he was the mistress.
He was the mistress. And I believe he killed Morzan because that was part of the reason Selena died. Was because, again, this is like hundreds of pages, and I only read it once 10 years ago.
I'm so sorry.
But yes, Brahm is actually Eragon's father. So they're still half-siblings. I'm trying to think of other stupid things that happen. Arya gets the last dragon, so she also becomes a dragon rider, and she's a princess of the elves.
Oh, she's a princess in the movie.
Yeah, they don't...
I don't think they mention elves, but she's a princess.
Yeah, she's an elf, and she's a princess, and that's, like, hidden until you get to the elf city, because she doesn't want anyone to know that she's a princess.
They tell him. Someone tells him.
No.
Angela tells him, maybe? In the movie?
She might, but...
He definitely knows she's a princess.
He doesn't know she's a princess. He just thinks she's of noble birth in the book. But yeah, no one actually knows she's a princess till she goes back to the elves in the second book. What else is stupid? Nasuada spends an entire book getting tortured from her point of view, and Murtagh, the reason she's the Leia analog is because Murtagh protects her because he's Han Solo. Or maybe that makes her Han Solo and he's Leia. It's a little unclear.
I mean, 15-year-old.
Yeah. Oh, there's Force ghosts. That was one of the complicated features that he couldn't include in the third book, and that's why he had to split it into 4. Because dragons don't have hearts, they have stones, and when they die, they get trapped, their consciousness gets trapped in the stone, and there's a guy that's been hiding all of the stones, and Eragon takes them into Galbatorix, and he's going to use all of the combined powers of the dragons to defeat him, but Galbatorix is too powerful. Also, he's got Dr. Angela and Murtagh and who else is fucking there? Oh, the little girl that he accidentally turned into a weapon. He has her. And do you know how they defeat Galbatorix?
Gun.
Stupider than gun. They defeat him with the power of making him feel feelings.
They diplomacy him?
No. He beats them because he's so fucking powerful that he cannot be stopped, and Eragon only wins because he makes him feel all the feelings his subjects have felt. They defeat him with the power of empathy, and he kills himself rather than deal with it.
Ugh. So, while you were describing this to me, I started writing a little essay in my head, as I'm wont to do.
Yes.
An essay, if you will.
No.
You will not?
I will not.
That's fair. I think part of what caused this movie to fail was they were trying to do an epic trilogy. Because this is right off the tails of the end of Lord of the Rings. Right? 3 pictures shot pretty much back to back. Hundreds of millions of dollars budget. Other movies that came out within a year or two of this were Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. Like $230 million budget.
Wait, Dead Man's Chest or...
Dead Man, yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah, Dead Man's Chest is the first one, sorry.
No, the first one was Curse of the Black Pearl in 03.
Oh, yes.
Dead Man's Chest, I think, is the second one.
Stranger Tides.
Wasn't that the fourth one?
Oh, God, I don't even remember.
Edge of the World or End of the World or something was the third one? I don't remember.
Yeah.
They're mid. But, $240 million budget. Superman Returns, $200+ million budget. Spider-Man 3, $200+ million budget. And I looked up the budget of this. $100 million. You're trying to start with these lofty goals ahead of you. Like I said, they had already planned. I think the director might have even been signed on to do 2 more, shoot them at the same time, finish the trilogy, on half the budget. And when you have half the budget, you have half the ass, right? Everything felt so half-assed. It didn't hold up as a single movie because so much of it felt like origin shit. It was all ripping off origin stories. And I'm not saying you need a $300 million budget to do like a good first movie. Like Star Wars didn't have the original Star Wars didn't have a $100 million budget.
Yeah. But
it had, I don't even want to say a good story because it was, formulaic. But it worked, right? But they were like putting the cart ahead of the horse, to revisit an older metaphor from this episode. And, like when a football player is about to catch the pass and they're already turning upfield to try and run for the end zone, you drop the ball because you're looking ahead of yourself. And I feel like that's what they did wrong. And it was just a bunch of like rip-offs of origin stories all mashed into one with video game-ass dialogue. Like no care put into actually casting, actual directing, actual script writing. Everything just went into, this is going to make money, and then we're going to make 2 more, make more money. And it falls so fucking flat.
The one thing that I want to say is that even if these books had never been published, and bear in mind, I am defending the man that I have just spent the past hour shredding. He would have written these books even if they had never gotten published. This man loves this world. He loves these ideas, and he was going to write this whether or not he saw money. The fact that he did see money helped, but this is a person who had this idea and loves this idea, and this is his baby, and he was gonna do these regardless.
Yeah. And there's something to like respect about that.
I think this would be an excellent TTRPG setting.
Oh, yeah.
This world is so deeply realized. You have existing politics and shit that you can play with. If he would have published this as the fucking skeleton to even a fucking addendum to D&D, because I don't know when 5e came out, but even a D&D, this would have been a fucking hit and a half.
Oh, yeah. If he was 15 now and starting to build this world, that's almost certainly where he'd take it. Because D&D is so in the mainstream now. You just showed me the other day, Dimension 20 is going to have WWE guys on.
Hell yeah.
I can't fucking wait. Like, that, he would have absolutely made a source book for world of...
make a source book.
Has he?
Yes.
Since or before?
I need to double check when it came out.
But anyway, like, he would have all the world building shit where it belongs on a page describing what an elf is in this world, and on a page describing what a dragon rider is on this world. And then the story shit would just be, you know, the good shit, bits and bobs in a module or whatever.
So, the source book was written in 2009, which was before the fourth book came out, but after the third book had come out. And it hints at the events of the fourth book, but it's written as basically a field guide for a new dragon rider by Eragon.
Okay, but it's not like an actual like book with tables and dice.
No.
Okay.
It's more like
It's like that Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them book that came out.
Yes, it's a supplemental.
Yeah. Or the Silmarillion, if we're gonna.
Yeah.
So, I was gonna say if we're gonna respect an author more, but also you have your asterisk next to Tolkien, so.
Yeah. So he's actually written 2 additional books. He talked about writing sequels to the cycle. I don't know if that has fizzled out or not, but he has written 1 book that is a sequel, and it is Murtagh. It is from the point of view of Murtagh. I'm curious, considering that, 2003, there would have been 20 years between him writing the 2 books. I'm curious what Murtagh looks like. I don't know if I'm going to punish myself enough by picking it up. But he has also written a series of short stories. I don't know if they are, like, short stories as told by people in that world or short stories about the people in the world. Because I've seen that before, and that can be done well by people who write. It seems like the trend right now is people create universes and they just keep writing within that universe, like fucking Sarah J. Maas did that with ACOTAR and all the other shit. You've got... what is her fucking name? Ruin and Rising, Shadow and Bone, Leigh Bardugo. The world of Shadow and Bone, she's written, I think, 8 or 9 books in that world, but they're kind of heraldy in that they're all the same groups of characters, but in different places. George R.R. Martin, even to an extent, he has written different things in and around the world of Westeros. That seems to be the trend now, which is like you create this world that you want to play in and you're kind of playing in your sandbox and you just release the stories that you've written in your sandbox.
So what you're telling me is not a good novel. Probably Eragon Wiki is really good though.
Yeah.
Like real fun to poke around that website, but you don't want to actually read it.
Like, this is a man who created a fucking language and like literally wrote the book in the language.
Yeah. He's
a fucking nerd. He did his research.
And like I said, there's something respectable about that. Where I lose respect is, what fucking is 20th Century Fox buying up the rights and going, let's milk this fucking cow.
Yes.
And just fucking half-assing it so hard.
Yeah.
I wasted my time watching this movie twice. I saw this in theaters.
Even I didn't see it in theaters. And I was the fucking nerd that liked this book when it came out.
It's one of the first movies I can recall sitting in a theater and going, this isn't very good, huh? And I know I've seen some trash in theaters up till I was 16, but like, yeah, it was just me and my sister, and I'm like, I don't think this is very good. I don't check in. Like, is my sister enjoying herself? I don't know. And then I don't think we even talked about it when we left. I think we just got like ice cream and went home. Like,
so the other important thing that I forgot to tell you, you know how this is set up to be like this epic romance between him and Arya?
Mm-hmm.
Nope, never happens. Arya rejects him. She spends all 4 books repeatedly and aggressively rejecting him.
Good for her. Was he speaking from experience again?
The only time that she even starts to consent is because, so he gets, this is another thing where I do have to give him credit. His main character gets massively disabled at the end of this book. The fight, which, another thing that's a huge problem, I know I keep jumping around, I'm sorry.
Wait, Eragon is disabled?
Yes. He gets massively disabled by the fight with Durza.
Do we need to look into the How to Train Your Dragon crew then about plagiarism?
He doesn't lose a limb. He doesn't lose any limbs. Basically, he just gets... It's more like chronic illness.
Okay, because I was going to say, it can't be a brain injury. There's no way he could be dumber.
Basically, Durza slices him across the back, and it doesn't cripple him, but he cannot exert himself the same way, and it puts limits on his magic and shit. And the only reason that is resolved, which again is kind of a problem, is he gets magical assistance and gets turned into an elf. I am not joking. The dragons magically turn him into an elf to heal him. Until he's magically healed, he does realistically deal with chronic pain. But then there's the whole, magical healing, which is a problem.
They turn him into an elf.
So apparently, in the lore of this world, the reason that dragon riders live so long is because the dragon's magic slowly is turning them into an elf, and the dragons just use the magic of his confirmation ceremony to speed that up.
Sorry, slow down.
Uh-huh.
Turn him into an elf.
Yes.
Does not compute.
So he starts as a human.
Yeah.
He gets disabled.
Okay.
And then they magically speed up his transformation into an elf.
Oh, you lost me again. That's not how things work.
Apparently, spending time around magic has unusual effects, including turning humans into elves. This is a thing that has happened in the past. It just doesn't happen all at once. It takes eons.
I have never heard of a fantasy setting where you can just... Oh, got a new level in D&D. Time to switch my race from tiefling to orc. No, that's not how fantasy worlds work.
He was, I want to make a Rachel Dolezal joke, but I feel like that's
I was also brewing a Rachel Dolezal joke. I was also brewing a Michael Jackson joke here. But they're all still human. I'm not, unless the gimmick of the story is literally somebody is turning into an animal, like the lobster, I think that's what that's about, and Tusk.
Yes.
Unless that's the fucking gimmick of this, I've never heard of that just being oh yeah, this just happens sometimes.
So... I am oversimplifying it. Bear in mind, I'm simplifying everything that this man says, because this man, if it takes 5 words, he will give you 700.
He was created solely on word count, not on content in his homeschool.
He was getting paid by the word, like Victor Hugo. So, he may not, be an elf, but basically they speed up the transformation that would have happened if he spent more time with Saphira. And he's still human, but he's closer to he's kind of like Gandalf.
Again, not a human.
But in that,
He goes from Gandalf the Grey to Gandalf the White.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
They limit break him. But anyway, the reason that I brought up his limit break was that when that happens, that is the only time that Arya's after that has happened and she has rejected him again, at the end of the series, when it is clear that he is going to live as long as an elf, he's like, yo, want a bone? And she's like, maybe, but courtship will take forever. And he's like, nah, I'm fucking off. I'm leaving the land forever. That is not an exaggeration. She rejects him and a final time, or she starts thinking about it, and he's like, no, I have to leave because Angela told me I had to leave in book 1. It's still not totally clear why he has to leave. That is never satisfactorily explained in all the 800,000 words of this trilogy series cycle.
Thank you. I'll have you know.
For For every interesting or good thing...
I like how now the implication is just Arya's just racist. It's like, you're kind of elf-like, so maybe.
To be fair, I think the implication is she's still in mourning when he hits on her the first time, because one of the dudes that unceremoniously gets murdered by the Urgles and Durza is her lover.
I can't hear the word Urgles without laughing. It's such a dumb word.
Oh, don't worry. There's a lot of varieties of them. You've also got the Razak. You've also got the Kull.
Just the mouthfeel of the word Urgle is so unfortunate.
He should have just called them fucking orcs.
Yeah, it's the most, I'm unique word choice. Just terrible.
Also, if I recall correctly, there's a whole, thing. There's so much politics in this. It also feels like he may have read Game of Thrones, because there's a lot of, weird political posturing happening.
I mean, the Star Wars, which, I don't know do you think he's ever seen Star Wars?
I would be surprised if he had.
Well, at the time, Star Wars Episode 1 and 2 were happening, and that's all just political theater.
That's true.
So...
yeah, it could be that, too.
If he didn't go into, long, detailed descriptions of meals, he probably didn't read Martin.
Martin doesn't do meals.
Doesn't he do, 8 pages on this food?
No, you're thinking of Tolkien again.
No, I know Tolkien does. I could have sworn George Martin did it as well.
No, he likes gore. The whole point of Game of Thrones. The whole point of Game of Thrones is that it's so violent and sexual that it would never be adapted into a TV series or movie.
And HBO said, "Fuck you."
Yeah, it is. This book is dry. Plot elements happen, and then nothing happens, and then everything happens in 3 pages, and there's the pacing is so poor. It definitely feels like an origin story. Do you remember when I shocked you, and also a lot of other people that have heard me voice this opinion, that I didn't like Captain America: The Winter Soldier because it felt like the back 2/3 of one movie and the first third of another?
I remember you not liking it.
That's how this book feels. This book feels like 90% exposition and then 10% plot, which is fine.
Which is fine if you're doing a tabletop RPG guide.
Yes. I'm not joking. Every conversation between Brahm and Eragon is just exposition. It's just Eragon as the reader asking, what's this? What's this? Why did this happen? How did we get here?
The movie's the same thing. When he first meets Bronn at a campfire dinner or something. And speaking of hating women, there's a guy, we see him once as his sons are getting conscripted into the army and he's mourning because he's going to lose his boys. And then they're at this big communal meal where it seems like the whole village is there and he's talking to himself about how his wife must be torn up about it. Where the fuck is she? Why isn't she at dinner? Show me the wife torn up. But I digress. At that scene, Bronn is starting to tell a story and the guards are getting mad because he's talking about dragons and Eragon's no, let him finish. And he finishes telling the story of how Galbatorix killed all the dragons and is now emperor. Mm-hmm. And this film still had the audacity to do a prelude to the movie where they explain that Galbatorix killed all the dragons and is now the emperor, and then they give it to us again in the body of the film. It's so egregious. It's so bad.
This man has never heard the phrase show don't tell.
No. And the screenwriter who loves his world building also hasn't.
I'm not joking. This, I think I said it was 496 pages earlier.
Something like that, yeah.
It is 497, sorry.
That one page makes so much difference.
If you include the supplements, it's even longer. About the last 100 pages are meeting the rebellion, the Varden, and then being tested, and then the final battle.
Christ.
All of the rest of that is traveling, rescuing, training. It's a fucking 400-page training montage.
Oh, that's another point I had, where they were trying to make this into an epic, but on half the budget. They were trying to do the Lord of the Rings thing, where you see the whole fellowship cresting a mountain, and this big sweeping helicopter shot over this gorgeous New Zealand landscape. Instead, it was Chucklefuck Magoo and his granddad on, a pony, and, a low sweeping shot of some hill. And it was like usually the same hill at different points in the movie, just from different angles. They're like, all right, I'll go this way over the hill and we'll get the camera this way. No one will know. They're not going to know. It's just like trying to do that shit on the cheap. Just don't do it at all. Don't give me those shots. Save me the 5 minutes.
So this whole book is basically the Fellowship if it ended once they got to Rivendell. But also, you cram jam that final battle in there.
I still think it's just Star Wars.
I mean, it is.
And I'm not the only one.
Oh, no.
Newsday.
Yes.
In their review, and I quote, 9-year-olds with no knowledge whatsoever of any of the 6 Star Wars movies would find the film original.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
Whoo, spicy. It's so bad.
Well, the good news is, we've ripped off that Band-Aid. We never have to talk about Eragon ever again.
Woo!
The bad news is, we have a sad reason to call an audible, and we're gonna divert from our bad adaptations of YA series that we're in the middle of. Because we found out, as of recording yesterday, that we lost Michelle Trachtenberg. And she's a weird, part of our childhoods because of the adventures of Pete and Pete for me. And I feel like for a lot of people our age, a little film, I believe it was the first Nickelodeon film, Harriet the Spy, which was based off a book. We talked about her on our last episode of Matilda, because she was up for Matilda, as was Rosie O'Donnell.
Yes, I believe she was considered.
Whatever. Michelle Trachtenberg and I think it was Rosie O'Donnell were both considered for Matilda and ended up doing Harriet the Spy. So instead of doing the Golden Compass on our next episode, we're going to do Harriet the Spy.
That will be good, because you're not going to enjoy me tearing apart your favorite book.
It's not my favorite book.
Golden Compass?
No. Not even my favorite book in that trilogy.
Whatever, your favorite book series.
It's not.
I'm going to hit you with
Animorphs, Cody! It's all right. I'm touching my Animorphs books. My Golden Compasses are over there. At least it's better than Eragon. But
It's true, it is.
anyway, next time out is Harriet the Spy. But before then, Cody, you and I have spent the last, nearly 2 years talking about adapting books into movies.
We sure have.
And we spent the last 80 minutes or so tearing apart the work of Christopher Paolini and, from my end, the film adaptation from 2006. And you at home, listening to this, may be tired of that. You may think, what do these people know? How can they tell a story better? Shut up and prove it. Bet. Next week, yes, next week, not 2 weeks from now. Next week, on, date?
I got it.
March 13th?
6th.
Next week is...
Oh,
this comes out March 6th.
13th.
So March 13th is the launch of our brand new show with a dear close personal friend of ours, Mark Lucas. There's 3 of us on this one. This show is a storytelling podcast that we call The Treatment. And what we do on The Treatment, this spawned from a common pastime of ours. Mark is a travel buddy of ours. When we went on our cruise, Mark was with us. And 2 days on that cruise were at sea. And we spent those days sitting in a hot tub. And how would we make a movie based on Frankenstein or Johnny Appleseed? And we turned that into a podcast. So starting next week, we're getting our first 2 episodes of The Treatment. At least one of them will be on this feed, and there will be its own separate feed for The Treatment, where all of the episodes will be after the first couple of weeks. We already have 5 episodes in the can, and I'm just going to say the Little Red Hen episode is one of the most fulfilling pieces of creativity I've ever been a part of.
It's a blast. I was just gonna say the way that we choose it is we've all put in a couple ideas that are in the public domain, and we spin a wheel, and whatever it lands on, we go ahead and we adapt that.
We pitch it. We start with the tone of what we want to do and then end up with a poster and a tagline and cast and a whole story. And it's a really fun time. And if you're wondering, like, okay, Bill, you were talking big game about can we get away from the hero's journey? What we do with Little Red Hen is, I think, exceptional from a structure and storytelling perspective.
I had a lot of fun on each episode, but I actually really liked the, I want to say the title of the movie we made, and that's not...
No, don't spoil that. 12 Dancing Princesses?
No.
No? Oh, the Pied Piper.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, the Pied Piper one's
We had
good.
a lot of fun with the Pied Piper.
I enjoyed the Jersey Devil and the Three Little Pigs episodes as well, because I got to stretch some comedic muscles that I don't quite get to stretch as much on this podcast. So if you're looking for something in the same ballpark as this show, but kind of different, without homework of having to sit through fucking Eragon.
I don't know, we gave people a lot of homework on Little Red Hen.
Listen, they don't have to do it. It's not required to hear the podcast. That drops next week, and we're really excited about it, as you can hear from our voices. I'm grinning ear to ear because it's legitimately like a really good show we've got going on here. But until next week when that drops, you can find us in the link tree in the description to this podcast, linktr.ee/soonmajorpod. If you have any ideas for future episodes of the pod, send them in to soonmajorpod@gmail.com. And might as well open it up. If you want to suggest things to add to the wheel for the treatment, send them into soonmajorpod@gmail.com. But until then... I don't know how to end these things still.
We don't have the professional.
Yeah, I have Mark just ends him on the treatment. He knows what he's fucking doing. That thing's like clean, professional. He makes me edit out my bodily functions.
I was really trying to burp right now, but I don't have one.
I just finished my fizzy drinks too.
Oh, we kind of forget. We forgot one of our capstones. Do you recommend this movie, Eragon?
I'm just gonna let the music fade in right here. I think that's how we're going out.
Perfect.